never got the chance to. I was so used to you guys always being here to the point that I never once thought to imagine y'all not being here. I didn't have a single clue how much I needed y'all until now. For James, thank you for all the life lessons you taught me and for being the best bonus dad ever. Your heart will finally be healed in heaven and neither of y'all will be in any pain anymore. Although that gives me so much comfort, your fight was not supposed to end there.
Hey everyone, welcome to Graceless Crimes, your favorite place to break down true crime that is absolutely graceless. And if you love true crime deep dives, then please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Before we get into today's story, I did want to dedicate this episode to my ride or die true crime bestie, my auntie, who just passed away last week. She's honestly the reason why I'm even doing this. We used to sit up and binge true crime documentaries, Dateline. I don't think any child should have been watching the John Benet Ramsey case. I'm grateful though for her instilling kind of an investigative drive in me. So, I get to dig into some of these cases with her in mind. This story is a little bit insane. It's shocking the whole internet right now. Not just because of the case itself, right? But because of how it was revealed. Well-liked 17-year-old Georgia girl on the verge of graduation is now behind bars for allegedly executing her own mother and stepfather. Rewind, right? So it's February 20th, 2025 in Carroll County, Georgia, and 911 gets a call, right? The caller is 17-year-old Sarah Grace Patrick. And she wasn't the one who made this horrifying discovery, but it was her 5-year-old little sister who walked into her parents' bedroom and found them both dead from gunshot wounds. So the victims are 41-year-old Kristin Brock and 45-year-old James Brock. They were shot while lying in bed. There's no signs of forced entry, there are no clear suspects, and there's no murder weapon found at the scene. So the police are pretty much just trying to take care of these two young children, Sarah and her little sister, and get them to safety while they try to figure out what exactly happened. So let's back it up a bit and let's talk about the victims. Kristin was actually a really well-respected reporter for the Carroll County State Court. And her husband, James, was a Navy veteran. She was described as very religious along with her husband. They were very involved in their church. They were very devoted to their children. And Kristin had Sarah from a previous relationship. And then James was Sarah's stepfather. Okay. Now the 5-year-old daughter was actually James's biological daughter, which is what makes her discovering her parents so sad. Now, by all accounts, they were a very normal Christian family. Kristin, the mother, was very dependable. She was responsible. They called her like the pillar of the community. She was always involved in church functions and things of that nature. And so that's what kind of makes this whole thing so unreal. Interesting, too, is that after the murder, they split the family up, okay? So they put Sarah Grace with her biological father, and the younger sister was actually put in the custody of, I believe, James's sister, her biological aunt. So the separation alone was a little bit strange, but I guess it makes sense considering that both girls were going to their biological fathers. Sarah was a senior in high school, so she was getting ready to graduate. So I don't know if maybe the father lived in close proximity to her school and they didn't want to change, her school towards the end of the year, which I probably would do the same thing, right? So this is why everybody is so confused about this case and why the motive or possible motive just doesn't connect with what this girl was doing. So Sarah's now at her biological father's house, okay? And she's a kid. She's on TikTok. She's on social media, the digital age. And in the months following the death, Sarah didn't disappear from the public eye as you would assume one would in something like this. She actually doubled down on her social media presence, right? took to TikTok. She started posting like all of these like tearful tributes, emotional montages, you know, like with captions that would say, if I could only go back, or I'm sorry, I want my mom right now. And at first glance, you know, all people can see is this like grieving daughter. But now looking back, it's starting to feel more like confessions. Okay. So there was one caption that read, a year from now, me and my sister would find them wrongfully shot. That's not just eerie, that's premeditated language. It's like that social media trend where it's like, you know, picture, it's like, little do they know, in a year they'll be a millionaire or something like that. She's using that for her parents' death. Girlfriend. And then the other thing that she was doing was that she was messaging true crime influencers and just influencers in general. So she messaged Mama Todd, who actually posted about it and was pissed off because her son had been taken from her in a similar fashion. And so she was just like, I can't believe this little girl would even try to message me and ask for this when clearly she's the one who took her parents' life.
Fast forward to last night, I come across that true crime creator that was talking about how that 17-year-old had asked her to do the story on her mom and dad's homicide. And the true crime creator was like, of course, absolutely, and did. She might even did 2 videos for all we know. And then it dawned on me, okay, I went to the account. That's how I seen that I had a message. And I looked and it said, I'm really going through it. I need a mom. Talking about to me. Need a mom after she did what she did to her own. Now, 2 things that shook me to my core was coming to me claiming you need a mom after what you did to your own. And not just your mama, but your, I want to say stepdad. And then number 2, knowing dang well how my son was taken was due to a murder. I try not to talk about my son's case, but literally we are once again, for like the 5th or 6th time, preparing ourselves to be in the same courtroom with the person who is accused of taking my son's life, to which this family is going to do the same exact thing. The same exact thing. I can't find the right words to explain to you the type of strength it takes to have to be in the same vicinity as the person who took your family member's life. It's almost like taunting, you know, reaching out to that true crime creator, asking to do the story on it, knowing dang well she did it. Reaching out to me, asking for a mom. That is a different kind of evil. It is sociopathic. And to that family, my heart is with you, because what you're going to have to go through now, y'all need all the love and strength anybody can give to y'all. And my heart goes out to you.
So would hit up like true crime influencers, encouraging them to look up the Brock case. And basically she was trying to, from what it looks like, make her family's case go viral. Like she wanted the coverage. So now people are calling this out because it's almost turning into this like first true crime case for clout. Is it the first one for clout? No, we have others. But this one with the TikTok viral age is kind of giving that title. So anyways, so now we're July 8th, which was literally a couple of days ago. 5 months after the murders, Sarah Grace walks into a police station and turns herself in with her biological father by her side. She was actually officially charged as an adult with 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and a weapons charge. So she's being held without bond, and she's facing life in prison. So remember, there's still no weapon, and the gun has not been found as of yet. So let's talk about like theories, motives, things like that, right? One motive is like it's a social media fame farming clout killing. Mouthful, but that's what they're saying. One of the most disturbing theories is that Sarah did this for attention. So like all of her online behavior really points to somebody who wanted spotlight on themselves, and she would like go from sad videos, contacting influencers, creating a narrative, making herself out to be this like victim, you know, and they've connected it to an old and a new case. So the old case they've connected it to is like the same behavior that Casey Anthony had in the early 2000s after her daughter was found unalived in a field, I believe, with tape over her mouth. And it was very like clout chasing and, woe is me. Now, present day, there's Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who was just, she's been sentenced, I think, 10 years. She got out early, and then she immediately took to social media, haircut, no job, like, got a TV show, and it just kind of made it look like this person was being rewarded for really bad behavior. And so between those two women, Sarah Grace just looks like another more modern day version of them. It also is that same like family annihilation like trope, right? So it's just weird. It's just weird. The other thing is, as we always see, life insurance. So the police have not confirmed any theories, but this is all alleged, but it's not far-fetched, right? So if Kristin or James had any policies, would Sarah assume that she would benefit financially because she was 18, she was going to be 18, and she would probably be like the guardian of little sister. So maybe her father moved in with her would gain access to the funds and then she would be able to get funds from him. I don't know if money played a role, but it's definitely something that investigators always look at. So this theory is probably, going to be checked out at the very least. Now, the other one that I have is abuse. She's going to come out and she's going to say that the stepfather abused her. Now, there is little known history of abuse, and there had been family members who would ask her, like, hey, was he doing anything to you? I don't know when they were asking her this, if they were asking her in general or if they asked her after they passed away, but I wouldn't be surprised if this came down to her defense. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she said something about them being abusive, either verbally or physically. There are some stories swirling around about them not liking that she was dating an older man or an older person. And so that is kind of going to come into play. I would really be interested. But because she's so young, I feel like it's going to be the legal team's only move, right? Meaning they're going to use that as a primary defense. Will it work? Is it true? Like, we don't know, but that's just a theory I want to put out there for today. So the other thing that has to be investigated, also in my opinion, is this, okay? If the murder weapon was never found, there has to be some sort of an accomplice, right? So a lot of people, including law enforcement, are considering the possibility of this. Could it have been help from a friend or a boyfriend? Nobody in the family owned a weapon. She did not have possession of a weapon, and she wouldn't have been old enough to get one. And then we go back to the older boyfriend. Now, I don't know him, but I know that this happened, and I don't know. It's a lot going on. But that would explain why, like, the crime went unsolved for months. Despite her being, like, so digitally exposed, there wasn't anything else they really could tie it to. Like, there's no fights between them or text messages that show, aggression towards her or her towards them or any, like, sub posts, things like that. So all they have is, like, this woe is me poor, little 17-year-old girl. If she was getting abused or if there was some anger, it would have been posted, right? Because this is her pattern. She's young. She's in the digital age. She would have put this information up. So why didn't people suspect her sooner? Like, how did they not see her sooner? I don't think it was that long, and it's been 5 months. February 20th to July 8th when she gets arrested is a pretty short period of time. Like, why did it take so long to connect her to the crime, especially with, like, surveillance and footprints online, right? Not all crimes are solved like CSI, okay? Like, shit takes time, and people are starting to snap into the reality that, like, you can't just be like, aha, like, Eureka, I found a feather in a cap, and it's her. Like, this is not Clue, okay? These are real people, and they're real lives, and there's so many people have lost something, right? That little 5-year-old girl has pretty much lost, like, and I hope to God she doesn't remember this, but, like, she lost her parents, she lost her older sister, she's lost her home, everything's different. I don't know if she's moved, like, in the same city or what, but just, I mean, God, you move a kid from school to school and their behavior changes. So everybody has lost something, and this is real life, so it's not something that we should take lightly, and it's not something that the cops should have solved like that. These are people's lives, and we need to take into consideration that, like, when the police don't investigate long enough, we still get mad. So it's like, pick a side. I'd rather them investigate thoroughly and take a couple months than to just make a snap judgment and get the wrong person or not get anybody at all. Okay, so little Miss Sarah Grace girl crying on the internet, Miss Thing, they're probably going to start pulling her TikToks, the archives, deleted messages, device logs, all that, right? The defense is probably going to try to prove either that someone else did it, to introduce like mitigating circumstances, mental illness, or my theory, alleged abuse. That's all I'm going to say. She's going to say somebody slapped her up a couple times and that was causation for her to do what she did. Baby girl, you could have left. Okay, you're 17, you're about to graduate. Go live in a, apartment, go get a job, go to a community college, leave. You can leave. She wasn't like 12 years old and had nowhere to be, had nowhere to go. So I'm going to tell her right now, if you're watching Sarah, that's not going to work. Like, you could have left. That's absolutely unnecessary. And you had a daddy who was going to take you in. So you really, it's not like you were trapped. Like, so be so for real. I also think that they're going to get information on a second person. In order for them to do that, though, they need to see like who else she spoke to about this. She had to have spoken to someone, and if none of her friends knew and everybody was surprised, then someone might possibly be somebody that helped her. If that means they helped her purchase the weapon and gave it to her and then took it, or if they actually are the ones who pulled the trigger, that's yet to be seen. It's been literally 3 days. So this is just a crazy case in general, because in the true crime world, like, a lot of us, it's very hard to talk about somebody else's family. You want to do them justice. You want to make sure that you're not like spreading rumors, and also raising awareness to similar situations that can happen to you, and or helping their families find justice, right? But this girl is like not deserving of not being trash talked on the internet. Like, she's not. Not only did you do something that was heinous and crazy and then made your little baby sister go and find your parents, but for you to sit on the internet and act like you were a victim, knowing damn well you did what you did, girl, like, I cannot imagine. You're so mentally ill, and this whole like social media clout thing, y'all have got to snap into reality. People always get caught. You're gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught. Like, what are we doing? And I think it's funny that people continuously think they're smarter than others. Like, you're not going to outsmart people who do this for a living. And if you were smart, you would use that to, like, I don't know, go to school and leave your parents' house. Go make an invention. Go do OF. Do something with your life that doesn't involve hurting yourself and others. I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, do you think life insurance or was a factor, or did she really just do this to go viral? To go viral? I don't know. That's so hard for me to like understand, but drop down in the comments like your theories. I would love to know what other people are thinking. And until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and take care of each other and yourself.